Welcome to the first session of the day one afternoon segment. So we see a few new participants, those who couldn't join in the morning session. Nisha Mehta and Ram. Ram, hello.
Hey Kalyan, yeah, this is Ram here.
Yeah. So you did register for this? I didn't see your name. Like with what name?
I thought that I can directly join this link, but morning I had a parent connect at school, so
Okay.
then I Minu helped with that.
Okay. I suppose you are not in the group that is assigned for this particular workshop. So I'll add you there so that you will get the recording link also.
Thank you. Thanks
of the
a lot,
morning
Kalyan.
session. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. Great. So Manisha also could join. She informed me that she'll be late little, but yeah, great. So any reflection about the discussions that we had?
कल्याण सर
Yes, ma'am.
मेरे को नहीं समझ में आ रहा हाउ इज इट अ फैक्ट दैट P1 लीड्स टू P2 and P2 leads to P3. I mean P2 to P3 I understand, but P1 leads to P2. How do we know that's the truth?
No, so see, P2 you understood, right? P2 is the sensation.
Yeah, that I understand.
Right? P2 is the sensation. And what is sensation? What is action? And what is perception? You understood this to begin with? You understood this?
Yes.
So anything, any organism is interacting with the external world. Through the senses only it will happen.
Yes.
Right? So if there is a sensory ingestion, then it will bring a change in the chemistry.
Yeah.
Isn't that obvious? Otherwise, there will not be any stoppage of ingestion. There will not be any ingestion also.
Yeah.
It will be a piece of stone only. Otherwise, isn't it? So that means if there is a sensory interaction, then there will be a sensation. It is an obvious progression. We are not saying that sensation cannot happen otherwise.
Yeah,
that's trying to understand. We are trying to understand here is that the action progresses into sensation in a natural progression. Are you with it? Now?
Yeah, so I feel the sensation can come from various other sources.
Yes. That's what we are inquiring.
Also can create sensations.
Yes. That's what we are trying to explore, that only, how that happens. Sensation, action, and perception has a natural connection. Action leads to sensation, sensation leads to perception, and perception brings a change in the action.
Right.
This is a natural progression. That's what we are observing. We are not judging anything. We are not bringing anything extra right now.
Right. Okay.
We are just trying to understand the sequence here, the natural sequence. If there is an action, nobody can stop a sensation. Sensation is an obvious. And if there is a sensation, there will be a perception. That is also a natural progression. It is an obvious thing. We are at this moment, we are up to here.
Right.
Is it okay now, somewhat?
Yeah.
Right. So then yes, sir.
If possible, can you explain with the example of the sensation turning into perception, action to perception? Sorry, action, sensation, perception.
Yeah. So I'll just let's revisit. So what we started with is the 3 domains of existence. Every organism or every entity for that matter has got these 3 domains, but organisms are for sure. P1, P2, P3. physical, physiological, and psychological. What is physical?
Yeah.
Whatever is perceivable from outside. Like I'm moving my hand. You are
Yeah.
looking at a tree. So these are the physical aspect. And physiological aspect is whatever is happening within the body chemically. That is physiological. Now, psychological domain always look for these physiological changes, which is a neural domain that observes the sensation. So these three are the domains of existence. Now, the corresponding executions are physically, whatever we execute, we call it action. Physically, whatever we do through our senses, because physically, whatever we do, for that senses are needed. All the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, these are involved in the actions, combination or singly. So physically, whatever we do, that execution is named as action. That is P1. Now, P2 is the sensation that happens inside the body at the chemical level. That is a physiological execution, sensation, which actually indicates whether we should go ahead with the ingestion or not. That's an obvious thing for a living organism to continue or discontinue with an ingestion. Whenever we look at a source of light, our eyes closes. That restricts the direct input of the light. So it's a response. It's coming from the physiological domain, chemical response of the sensory experience. That is sensation. And now with sensation, we have an understanding of the whole phenomena. That is what is the perception, psychological perception. So if you see the corresponding images, so the first image is the fire. One is touching the fire. That's the action. Now, due to touching, there is a burning. That burning sensation happens. And with the burning sensation, this is the burning sensation that happens in the chemical domain. Now, with the burning sensation, we have an awareness of fire. Now, that fire is hotter than the normal. Right?
Yep.
That is what is the psychological perception. So now the sequence I've already discussed. Sequence is this, and now the perception will bring a newer action, which is with the awareness of fire. Now I know that fire may cause burning, so I'll be tactfully using perhaps fire with that awareness of previous experience. So that goes on. P1, P2, P3, then P1, P2, P3, then P1, P2, P3. This is a natural progression of any sensory inputs. Is it?
Yeah. So just one thing around it. So you said the tactical progression of, okay, now the fire is burning, which is a pain. Now how to use it is again coming from a psychological thing. Where is the transformation happen? Like,
yes,
okay,
that's a perceptory movement. Perceptory movement. If the perception is dynamic, naturally perception is always dynamic. So what happens, like after the experience of fire, there is no fear of fire that is generated. Just an understanding of fire that has generated. That is the perceptory movement. So which is basically a curiosity to find out, let me see what is the next experience with the fire. Previous time, it was a burning experience. Now let me see what happens next. This is the awareness that is operating here.
Okay. So basically in the previous scenario, you experienced one is the burning and second thing is the hot sensation. So
yes,
within that sensation, you feel that in the colder days, probably I can use this fire to kind of warm me.
Yes, that could be a connection that is built, because there will be another experience of cold climate. Then the perceptory movement will connect it, and will make the dots connected. Okay, this is hotter, that is colder. Now, if I combine this, then some relief could be there. All these connections are made.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So this P1, P2, P3, the progression of P1, P2, P3 happens throughout the life, every moment, with the multiple dimension. With the multiple dimension, like when you are seeing, you are hearing also. When you are hearing, you are smelling something also. So it is happening all the time. All the time, this is going on and going on. Right? So the natural order or the sequence is P1, P2, P3, and then P3 brings, more extra clicks, I think. Yeah. So this is the order, you see. P1 to P2, P1 to P2, P2 to P3, P3 to P1 back. So this is a natural progression, and this movement is automatic. This is very important for all the participants. This understanding this automated movement of P1, P2, P3. This is important to understand this framework. What is the meaning of automatic? This is something which operates on its own. That means it doesn't need any energy. We are trying to understand the energy operation within a living organism. So there is no energy needed from P1 to P2, P2 to P3, P3 to P1. Whatever is needed is very minimal energy. Very minimal energy. Why? Because see the source, this is very dialectical understanding. This is very interesting also. Whatever is the source, that source is a physical source. And what is the beauty of the physical existence? It has an end. It has an end. It is not without an end. It has a boundary. The physical aspects do have a boundary. Morning we were discussing about the boundaries. So the physical impact also will have an end, because physical things ends. So whatever the impact on the energy that goes in will have an end. Will have an end means there will be a relief as well. So it is not the consistent toll, consistent load on the energy that continues in this natural order. P1, P2, P3, P1, P2, P3 is an effortless sequence because of its characteristic of getting ended rather. Is that clear? Ram sir? Somewhat?
Yeah, it's very clear, very clear.
Yes. So this is the natural sequence. Now we were understanding also how the reverse sequence happens.
Kalyan,
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify a few things.
Yes.
When we say P3 to P1,
P3 to P1.
Is it never happening that when we respond to a stimulus, it is without a perception of it?
The first P1 happens perhaps without perception.
When you say first P1,
yeah,
are we talking about when somebody is born and the first?
Yeah, maybe in the ingestion period, like the gestation period, like within the womb also it starts. So we don't know when that first P1 happens.
So
it actually
every time we are saying every time from then on we are responding to a stimulus, it is with some perception.
Yes, some previous impact, that responsive memory may operate. That may
that may not be the only thing.
Yeah. There could be many
thing.
other factors. The perceptory inputs may come from other factors also, but the common what you can say that rough allocation of domains work this way. Because see, physical P1, P2, P3 is for understanding's sake. We are actually correlating our experiences. It works parallelly, wholesomely.
Right. Right. So now, when say I see a flower, then when I see, I smell, maybe I touch.
Yeah.
In that moment, I may not know, but we are saying that there is a perceptory, memory or something that is coming to
there
us.
is an ongoing awareness of the sensation. Like the moment you touch the flower, the petals of the flowers are soft and you understand it. That understanding happens at the perceptory domain. So every sensation is followed by a perception, corresponding perception of the sensation.
Yeah, so I get a sensation that it is soft, and that brings a perception, is what we are
Brings
saying.
an awareness, understanding, what was the term.
Yeah. And if it is not conclusive, then then I am open to, I'm not.
Yeah, it is naturally not conclusive. Naturally, it is not conclusive.
Yeah.
Okay, this time the fact is also that this flower is soft. So it goes with that fact and remain curious for the next fact. That's a factual thing. Till now, we are not bringing any conclusion. What we are seeing is an never-ending flow of action, sensation, perception, action, sensation, perception on its natural progression.
Fine. Another question was that when you said about this, any child, most of what he's experiencing, it is in the sensation. So it is experiencing it is in the sensation, but coming from physical stimulus.
Mostly
that
physical. But there could be impact of this conflicting order also on the child even.
Yes. But I mean, if at all that effect is we don't know, but if it is minimal, then it is coming from physical to physiological. And so both of them, our domains are at work.
The order you are saying?
Yeah, the physical,
the order operation.
Both are in in majority in a child.
Physical and physiological, you are saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a factual thing, that for a child, the physiological domain is very active. Very active because of the growth phenomena. Because it is in a growing stage. So physiology operates in the growth stage. So physical allocation of energy is also not that much.
Why do we say this?
Physical allocation, this is not an assumption. A child cannot lift a heavy weight. It's a physical allocation of energy.
Okay, so the allocation of energy we are saying is mainly in the physiological domain.
Mainly in the physiology. Because it is
but the growth and all that is happening in a child.
That's a physiological domain. The growth is attributed to the physiological action.
Domain. Yeah. Okay, fine.
Right. So and the neurons are also not very active that time. Yeah, Ram.
So there is one thing I just want to understand. We are not always going through this cycle, right? For example, as a child, when I get into a road, people tell me that based on their P1, P2, P3 or somebody's P3, borrowed P3, they tell that, look at the right, look at the left, and you should not take other pencil. Otherwise, my action, if I don't know all that, my action could have been just walking, or maybe like picking my friend's pencil and taking it with me, all that, right? Then the right or wrong, which is there in the P3 from other probably they also borrowed from somebody's P3, right? Which is forced on us, right? So then I'm operating from P3, no experience of P1, P2 in those cases. Most of the cases are like that, right?
Yes. That's what we are trying to explore in the next understanding of the conflicting order.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now the conflicting order, that was the natural order, P1, P2, P3, P1, P2, P3 is the natural order. Now, what is the conflicting order? For that, we need to understand the negative emotion and positive emotion, two types of emotions, commonly termed as. So negative emotions are anger, jealousy, fear. So we'll pick up a fear phenomena. So the same fire example. So there is an impression somehow went into the perception that the fire is fearful. Fire is going to burn me. So fire is fearful. Fire is running behind me to burn. Kind of impression that has come to the mind. And one has believed it, never questioned. One has believed that previous experience was burning experience. So next obviously is going to be like this. And this is non-factual. This is an imagination, which is a perception created in the mind and believed. When we believed, that time we have the fear sensation within. Fear sensation within. And the moment the sensation comes, there is approval. There is an approval from the body side that, see, the image is creating this sensation, and sensation is very much real. Sensation is not imaginary. That image was imaginary, but due to that image, when the sensation is generated, that is very much prominent. That is very much real. Because it is a chemical, form. It's not something imaginary, it's a form. Formless things can be questioned for its existence, but the form thing is unquestionably existing. So when it is sensed in the body, there is an approval of that perception. It is justified now. Now, that small picture that was starting within no time, that would become a bigger and bigger, huge one. Now, with that, the fear also becomes recurrent. The fear actually follows me till I grow old and die. So it started perhaps in the childhood, the seed of fear, because of that perception which was planted there. And planted means if it is a kid not developed physically, we may say that it is coming from the environment, caregiver and all those stuff. But if it is grown up, then the complete onus goes to the individual. It's a grown up, enough neural structure is now there. I cannot keep on blaming that I was conditioned at the beginning. So what is the fun of blaming the external thing? When you have the capability to dissolve it immediately that dissolution can be possible the moment you are aware. You can be fearless in a moment. It doesn't need any method or practice to slowly and gradually dropping the fear. It will happen instantly. Now coming to the positive emotion. So that was a negative emotion. So we consider somehow that positive emotions are very good thing and one must have this. So on the name of this, the motivation, inspiration, happy visualization kind of things work. So let's see how it works at the psychological domain. So a scenario with the fire only, because we are now playing with the fire in all the three examples. Now, a kind of perception came into mind that if I walk on the fire, that would be a success. That would be an achievement. So the story of success failure came into the mind, and something unnatural is now considered as needed. Walking on the fire is very unnatural thing. Nobody in a normal state can walk on the fire because it will burn. It's an obvious thing. That's a fact. But somehow that fact became unreal in the mind, and walking on the fire was considered as a needful thing. So with that P3, with that perception, one actually ended up walking on the fire, actually, and consider that this is an achievement, and he has a sensation of achievement after walking the fire, not the pain. Pain was a natural response from the fire, but this gentleman or lady, whoever, is considering that this is an achievement and having a sense of achievement, sensation. So because of this, now this becomes very strong in the mind that purpose in life is very much needed, because it gives a sense of achievement, and both are illusionary, both are imagination. So it becomes stronger and stronger, and that gentleman may end up being a motivational speaker, stressing on that you must have a purpose in life. You must have a goal in life. So this is again, this creates an endless loop within the individual of P3, P2, P3, P2, because lifelong he will claim that I am a believer of purpose in life.
Kalyan, can we delve a little into why purpose in life is an illusion?
Yes, obviously. So what is purpose? We can delve a bit about the definition of purpose. Purpose is actually a concluded outcome of an event. Are you with it? Purpose is a concluded outcome of an event. Is it possible to conclude the outcome of an event ever?
Concluded outcome of event or a wish?
Yeah, that wish is actually an outcome decided before the event has happened. The wish, different names are there: purpose, wish, goal, target.
Even it may not be an event, but a state of life, right?
Yes, yes. The life is event here.
Okay.
Yeah. So that could be a salvation also. It's not that to become an IAS officer is just one example. It could be a salvation. It could be enlightenment. Shilpi, are you able to comprehend this? Shilpi, are you there?
Yes.
So the purpose of life, sketching the outcome beforehand, is irrational. It's non-fact, because you don't know what is going to come out.
And if it is tentative, then it is not a purpose.
It's not a purpose, because you are open to change it. When you are open about the outcome, do whatever. That's not a load on yourself. That's a dynamic perception. When you are open about the outcome, see, the stickiness is gone. You are doing the same thing, perhaps. With purpose and without purpose, you are doing the same thing, but the stickiness has gone. And that stickiness consumes the most of the energy. That's what we are going to see now. You know, we have different names of it, like attachment. We are calling sensation.
Sir, stickiness मतलब क्या?
Stickiness वो sensation जो आपका ये belief के वजह से, वो जो आप सोच लेते हो, जो मन में जो चित्र आया, मन में जो आपका चित्र आया, वो चित्र सही है ऐसा सोच लेना आपके अंदर एक स्टिकीनेस तैयार कर देता है, अटैचमेंट तैयार कर देता है उस चित्र के प्रति, जो चित्र काल्पनिक है। दिमाग के अंदर एक चित्र आया और वो चित्र मतलब वो काल्पनिक है, वो तो अभी हुआ ही नहीं है, वो तो अभी हुआ नहीं है, वो आपके दिमाग में किसी भी तरह आया है, वो किसी से बोरो किए हैं या खुद से निकाले हैं, कुछ भी हुआ है। मेरे अंदर एक फ्यूचर का फोटो आया है, जो फ्यूचर अभी आया ही नहीं, उसको मैं सही मान बैठा, ये है स्टिकीनेस। मैं उससे चिपक गया,
फोटो को चिपका लिया है।
हाँ, उससे चिपक गया मैं।
हाँ.
और फिर क्या है, मैं सच्चाई को देखना बंद कर दिया क्योंकि मैं वो फोटो ढूंढे जा रहा हूं चारों तरफ। सच्चाई जो चल रहा है होलसम, जिसमें पैमाना अगर देखें तो उसमें मैं, ये जो एग्जिस्टेंस है ये कुछ भी नहीं है। सच्चाई का पैमाना इतना बड़ा है। वो जो कुछ भी नहीं हूं मैं, वहां से मैं कुछ एक चित्र बनाया था, वो भी तो कुछ भी नहीं है क्योंकि मैं ही कुछ नहीं हूं। फिर उस चित्र को जब सही मान लिया तो और चित्र को ही ढूंढे जा रहा हूं। चित्र छोड़ के और जो हो रहा है उसको मैं देख ही नहीं रहा हूं, गौर ही नहीं कर रहा हूं, क्योंकि मेरा सारा फोकस पड़ा हुआ है उस चित्र में। ये है अटैचमेंट, ये है स्टिकीनेस। समझ रहे? Excuse us, Ram, for the Hindi.
No problem. So that's absolutely fine. So what I'm trying to understand is like you can still, without the stickiness,
Yes,
you can still, maybe unknowingly reach whatever the state or event or
Yes.
complete the event.
yes,
That is still okay. But if you have a stickiness towards it, is it that's what
Say okay or not okay, we are not here trying to judge that. But if I am going with the stickiness, then what is the impact on the energy? That's what we are trying to understand. We are not getting judgmental here.
Yeah, okay, not okay, I'm not coming
Yes.
to. I'm saying like probably you may face the event also on the way without stickiness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So see, an action, whether it is rational or irrational, that can be understood with the kind of attachment that you have with the action. That is what is the rational action. When you question yourself, if I don't take that action, is it okay? If you find, yeah, it doesn't matter if I don't take it. If you
to put it simply, like you are following, say, natural path, and then for whatever reason, right? And if you have a goal, I need to reduce in this way 5 kgs, that is a stickiness, and you are just in the nature cure, and the 5 kg reduction happens on the way because you never thought that you want to reduce.
Yes, as a byproduct that may happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the second one is no stickiness.
Yes. When you are not sticking to any decision, not concluding psychologically. Psychologically not concluding it. Yeah.
Okay. So if go,
sorry. Yes, please go ahead.
No, I just want to conclude that saying like, that is come from P3, right?
P3.
P3,
that conclusion. That conclusion.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
sorry, please do that.
If I have a goal that I want to live without medicine.
Yeah.
And I am not okay if I have to take a medicine.
Yeah. Tell me, what is the question?
So then that as a goal, I'm just trying to explain.
There's no difference in the framework whatsoever the goal may be. It operates the same way. Any fixed outcome is a goal, and that actually is believed and having a sensation. So now see, we have 1.5 minutes. So now the new order, now the conflicting order that was discussed, that will be answered, Shilpi, with this, I guess.
Right.
So perception is the first step, and then sensation has come from the perception. Sensation has come from the perception, and that particular initial perception becomes stronger because of the sensation. Because of the sensation, this perception, the same perception becomes a stronger perception. And because of the stronger perception, the repeated sensation occurs. So there will be a loop of P3, P2, P3, P2 within an individual. So now when we join back, we'll be joining back with using the same link. So Ram, why you are using this 40-minute slot is giving a breathe in between, and also small pieces of recordings. You just joined.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, using the
Yeah, I've
same
experienced
credential,
this.
we'll join back. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.